All right, here's a pro tip for you. The store is closed until Monday, and it is Saturday morning. So what do? Do you just sit on your project? No. I have a bag full of these. I don't remember where I got them, but these are 47 microfarad, 400 volt capacitors. So what do I need? Well, I need 710 microfarads. And you can go, well, you can't put a 47 in there. It's not going to work. Well, think about what this capacitor does. It's the rectifier filtering for the unregulated part of the circuit. And if there's no load, if I never put a load on the front end, it doesn't care that this is a small capacitor. It'll work just fine. And so I put this capacitor on little crimp leads here, so I can put the screws back in. It's not, I don't have to solder it in. I just put it on these solder lugs here, crimp lugs. And we should be able to turn this thing on and see if it works. And then if it does work, then we know just go buy a capacitor and we're done. If it doesn't work, we can troubleshoot other things and only have to make one trip to the store instead of 2 trips to the store. So there you go, pro tip. All right, let's turn it on. Look at that. Ooh, 60 volts. Let's see if we can keep my fingers away from those things there. Yeah, look at that. 20 volts. Yeah, let's hook it up here. Let's turn on my voltmeter here. Is that in screen? Not in screen. Anyway, there, it says 22.5, and it looks like 22.5 to me. Let's see how accurate this thing. I'm going to set it to exactly 40 volts by the meter here, and it says 40.3 volts. So yeah, this thing works great. Let's take it up to 100 volts. Yep, perfect. I'm going to put it on the digital meter here. I'm going to set it to exactly 100 volts. And then we read the meter on the front. It looks like 100 volts to me. Yes, that works great. I will go to the store on Monday, get a big cap to put in there, and I think I'll be done with this thing. The only other thing that was wrong with it is this. There's a coarse and a fine for the current, and the fine knob was cracked, and so it's behind me here. I've gone ahead and kind of bondoed the thing. I'm using a, what's that stuff called? The black epoxy. You know the stuff. Anyway, so I'm putting black epoxy on this thing and letting it dry, and then just kind of sculpt it to make it look nice. So that's working good. About 25% of the knob had cracked, but the other 75% was still there. So I just gonna use some Bondo on it. Away we go. Yeah, so anyway, I think this thing will survive another day. All right, I went to the store today, Anchor Electronics, and they had this lovely capacitor here, 1,000 microfarad at 250 volts. So definitely upgrade. We had a 710 microfarad at 200 volts, so this will work great. It doesn't have the screw terminals though, so we're going to have to add the little solder lugs here, so crimp lugs, and so I prepared these, one red to mark the plus, and I've got some heat shrink on them already. I always put the heat shrink on first because you're always going to forget and then go, oh geez, I forgot to put the heat shrink on. So let's get that going, and let me go ahead and test this thing. Let's see. I have to admit that I took my tester to the store and I tested 2 different capacitors. They had a 820 and 1,000, and the 1,000 tested a really, really good ESR, which is what I want. So yeah, 0.03, 0.029, there you go, 0.029. So this one is a lovely. So let's get some leads on it. All right, sorry about the washing machine noise, but there we go. I have it attached to this one here, which is nice and stiff. So got some cable ties around it. I have the plus and the minus all hooked up. So we should be good to go. Let's power this thing on. Yeah. All right, I'm going to use my little dummy load here. It's only good for 60 volts though, so I've put a limit on it at 45 volts, so we'll test this thing up to 45 volts. Let's go ahead and take a look here. I have it set to current mode, so 0.09 amps full scale, and I'm putting in 63 milliamps. So I can lower it. You can see here, I can raise it. All right, so we need to change scales. This is 0.9 amps per full scale. So let me ramp it up here to 100 milliamps. There's 100 milliamps, so it's on scale. Let's ramp it up to 200 milliamps. Right there, it's 200. It's reading just fine. Let's up the voltage. We're at 8 volts right now. Let's go up here to current mode. Let's see here. Oh, okay. So it went into under voltage protection mode. That's good. All right, let's go back again. Let's go to volts mode here. There's 20 volts. Let's go to 30 volts. There we go, 30 volts at 0.2 amps. It's working good. Let's take it up to 40 volts. 40 volts at 0.2 amps. So what is that? 80 watts? 8 watts. 8 watts. Yeah, I'd say she's working pretty good. So we can go here to amps mode and 0.2. Yeah, it's right there at 0.2. Let's take it up to 0.3. There we go. Yeah, it's working great. And I can lower the current, put it here, lower the current. Yeah, and then the other little box here goes out of compliance. So, yep, that's working good. All right, everything's working great so far. Turn this off. I do like this little DC load. It only goes to 60 volts though, so that's a shame. But it's 60 volts at 4 amps, I think. 60 volts at 100 watts. Okay, it's rated at 100 watts, so I think we can turn this thing off. Yeah, shut down. Yeah, like that thing. All right, because it's battery powered, I can just put it on. So I say we button this thing up. I've got some tops and bottoms for this thing. So let's do that. Oh, before I button this up, I wanted to point out one thing that's really, really important if you get one of these. Make sure that this bumper is on there, this rubber bumper, okay? There's at least one here. Maybe there should be another one over here somewhere. Yeah, in fact, let me put one on. It's so that if you push the bottom down, it doesn't short out to like these bolts over here. So let me put another one on. Let's put a couple of these around here. And I'm going to put another one on top of there so that we're not going to short that out. Yeah, that's better. I feel safe. And I'm a screw short. A lot of people would say that about me. I'm a screw loose. Let's see if we can find another screw. All right, there we go, all back and repaired. It's working great. I think I'll give it back to the ladies and see if they can find some other buyer. This is an HP 8299A. That was a repair video.